Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Beloved Flower. If this is your first time, hello. If you've been here before, hey, thank you for stopping in today. I haven't uploaded videos in a while. I've been working. Y'all, I've been working on a lot of different projects all at the same time, and I am learning how to skate. Okay, so I have been skating up and down in our dining room with my husband, and we have been having the best of times. We have a karaoke machine that has like the little disco lights on it. And so when the music is going, the little lights are going around in the dining room and it's spinning around like we're in the skating rink. So I have truly been enjoying it, so much so that I think I'm going to go skating today. And when I say that, I'm literally going back and forth around in the dining room. I don't have the wheels yet to do skating outside. So I am just enjoying it. It's been such a great workout. And not only do I have a good time, like I said, it's a great workout, which is why I enjoy it. But I have slight scoliosis. And so my lower back, I have chronic pain all the time. And a lot of people don't know, especially those around me, because I'm always moving and I just kind of like ignore it, but I'm sick of ignoring it. And so skating helps you correct your posture, because you have to have a certain type of balance when you're trying to do certain moves, when you're trying to keep yourself from falling and balancing. So one thing my chiropractor told me is that I have such bad back pain and such bad posture because my lower abdomen is not that strong either. So my muscles in my stomach is not strong, therefore my back's not strong, and vice versa. So I've been working on my posture, trying my best to sit up straight, as well as skating, and the skating is helping me keep my balance. I'm also doing Tai Chi. I did it for all of last week. I did Monday through Friday. I did my Tai Chi Monday through Friday, work week wise. And I did it yesterday. I'm doing it again today. Tai Chi is helping me stretch, move my body, and just keep focused on my inner temple and healing my body. And one thing I'm learning is that healing is not just inside, it's the body too. I truly believe that if we're holding on to certain things and we're not healing the inside, it really affects the body physically. And so as I'm skating and doing my Tai Chi and getting in the garden now because the weather is starting to feel amazing, I'm starting to feel amazing about myself. I'm also listening to my body more, and I'm listening to my inner thoughts. I'm looking at things that trigger me, and I'm glad because I'm graduating also from certain things don't trigger me as much as they used to, but there are still some things that do. And so I had such a good time yesterday skating, and like today I had a positive outlook on life. And I told myself I was going to reprogram my mind as I'm healing to think as positive as I can. Even if something negative happens, think positive. So I was listening to Tabitha and her husband, I think his name is Chance, on one of their videos on YouTube. And well, actually, no, it was just Tab. It was just Tab's video. And she was talking about, thinking positive and stop complaining. And even if you joke about it, it's still a complaint. And I have a bad habit of doing that. I have for years thought of the worst case scenario first. And like a abused wild animal, I am constantly in survival mode. And that is not healthy. And throughout the years of carrying that type of mentality and that type of attitude, energy, I truly believe it's affected my body, it's affected my mind, and it's affected my peace. And so now I'm getting back to what the Most High said, come before me as a child, I am starting to be more childlike and more optimistic and more detached from the social norms and what's trending and just really reflect on me and what I want and what I truly desire. And starting to focus when I meditate on the word. And when I say meditate, I'm not a Buddhist or any of that. When I meditate, I'm quiet in my mind so I can listen to the Most High. And I'm also envisioning myself as the best person I can be. What does that look like? Does that look like a person who's extremely healthy? Does that look like a person who has peace? So I'm starting to envision the best outcomes possible for my life and starting to see those outcomes and let go of pain and let go of hurt. So I had a recording I did the other day, and I said, this is my peony season. And if you know anything about a peony, you don't see them all like once they die back, you don't see them. You literally have to look at the dirt and stoop down low in order to see if there's any growth when the spring comes. And if you pay close attention around mid-April, you're going to start to see these little bitty fingers poke up out of the dirt. And before you know it, it's a huge bush, especially if the peony has been established for some time. And you got this huge bush all of a sudden. And then you'll get these circular balls at the tip of these stems, right? And if you pay attention, it's always a bunch of ants crawling on this little ball. It's like a gumball size. And that's your flower. But she does not open up until May-ish. Like mid-May, you'll see some of them start to bloom. Some of them are earlier bloomers than others. But when it opens up, it goes from this gumball size flower to a flower almost as big as my hand. And you would not expect it because it came up from the dirt and you couldn't even recognize it. You don't even notice it at first. And then it gets bushy, and then she puts off her flower. And her flower is magnificent. It's beautiful. It's soft. It's delicate. It has its own perfume. But in the beginning, you don't see her growth. And so all praises to the Most High. That's my message today. You may be in a season, a peony season, where you see the tulips are growing, you see the daffodils are growing, you see the hyacinths are growing, you see all of these spring tubular bulbs just popping off, right? And you don't see your growth because some things take a little longer before they show themselves. And so when this peony does show up, baby, Miss Peony does her thing. Now her bloom is not for a very long season, but she went from little fingers in the soil to a bush, to a beautiful, delicate flower. And that flower is so vibrant and so soft and so delicate. You just fall in love with it. And so my message today is to fall in love with your growth. Who cares if anybody sees it? The Most High does. You're not perfect. You're not going to be. The most beautiful things come from the dirt. And since He fashioned us from the dirt, we are but flowers in His garden. So this is my peony season, my season to love myself, appreciate my growth, take my time to develop. And when I get where the Most High needs me to be, I'm going to put on a show. And not with arrogance, not with pride, but with love, because I have first learned how to love myself. Therefore, I can love my neighbors. I can appreciate the daffodils who come early spring. I can appreciate the tulips that come in the spring. I can appreciate the hostas who have a similar growth, but they prefer more shade. I can appreciate the beautiful things, my neighbors around me, because I'm first learning how to appreciate me. And it's going to take time, and it's okay. Everyone's doing the best that they can. And I have to keep reminding myself when I catch myself getting upset from old habits and certain things that would trigger me that still do. I have to constantly be reminded by the Holy Spirit. Everybody's doing the best they can. And your season is different from their season. You may be in spring, but they may be in the winter still. And if they are in those winter months, you must be gentle because winter is harsh. If they are in spring, you must be delicate because they are coming from the soil from such a cold winter. If they're in the summer, you have to be mindful that the heat will burn them up, and you have to be delicate with them. And if they're in the fall, they know that their season is done. So when I'm looking at everybody, I'm working on being better at recognizing what season they're in, but also not allow their season to hinder my growth in my season. If you are in winter, I know I must be delicate with you, but that doesn't mean I stop blooming. And so I want to share this recording with you guys and just encourage you to keep moving. You're not going to get to this finish line, this imaginary finish line where everything in life is perfect and you got all the money in the world you want. You got all the success in the world that you want. Everything you ever dreamed of is there. Because the way humans are, you can get to that finish line, baby, and then you're going to say, you know what, there's another destination I want to go to. So you never stop growing. The flesh is never satisfied, but the objective is to make sure that the spirit is guided by the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, so that the journey is magical and wonderful, and you're not rushing through to get to an imaginary line, an imaginary amount of money, or it's temporary. Where is your source? Who is your fuel? And that source, that light, that power will guide you. Like the virgins mentioned in the word, there were 10 virgins, and they all had oil, and they were waiting for the king. And some of them didn't have all their oil. Some of them had their oil. So some of them were prepared for the season to be admired as the flowers that they were. And some of them were doubtful that they were worthy of those honors and to be seen by the king. So they kind of did their part, but they kind of didn't. So the journey was long. And these 5 had enough oil for the entire journey and some. The other group didn't have enough. So they tried to take the women who were prepared and who were seasoned to be the flower that the king requested, to be admired as a beautiful, delicate thing that they were. They had enough oil. So this other group of women who did not wanted them to share. And they told them, if I pull from my season, if I pull from my oil and I give it to you, I won't have any. It's not enough. So you go do the work and get your own, right? Well, when they came back, the king had closed the door. They were not welcome. Why? Because if you understand that you are worthy to be treated as a beautiful, delicate flower, you know that it requires a season of examination, growth, progress, and obedience. All growth requires obedience. These women were not obedient, so they missed the opportunity to be admired by the king, and they didn't get in. So although you're changing and transforming and you're becoming this beautiful thing, don't let anyone steal the oil from your lamp and take you out of your season, because then you'll have to rework all this soil and get everything cleaned out again and get it ready for the next season, because now you've missed the harvest. So don't allow anyone to rob you from your harvest and take from your season. So I'm going to share this recording with you that I did the other day. Stay encouraged. And when you arrive, you will know. Like when a bride tries on that dress and she puts it on and she's overwhelmed and overjoyed because she knows when she presents herself as the delicate flower that she is to her king, her groom, he is going to be blown away by her radiance and her beauty. When you have arrived at the season that the Most High has created for you, you will feel like that bride, and you will know when you have arrived. So take your time and enjoy it, and stop and smell the flowers. Y'all have a wonderful day. I will have more uploads, more recordings I will share from the past, more stories. I'm going to start reading some of my stories to you guys that haven't been published yet. Okay, so take care of yourself and enjoy this recording.
Yes, April 29th, 2024, I was listening to Tabitha and her husband, and they were talking about marriage and stuff like that. And another thing that I got out of it is one thing she was saying about, it's just a mental note for a show. You have to learn to know yourself, and when you're in a marriage, you get to see yourself through the eyes of someone else. And one thing I know I struggled with early on in our marriage was that my husband would tell me I was beautiful, and I would get people around me say, "You're so beautiful. Like, why do you have such low self-esteem?" It's like, I had no hand in creating the exterior aspect of myself, right? The Most High did that through my parents. I have only control over the beauty that I possess inside and how I move in that beauty. And when you're not aware that the beauty inside is what outside is really should be about, that the beauty inside is more sacred and more wonderful, that is the most authentic aspect of yourself. If you're not aware of that beauty, it doesn't matter what someone says about you externally. And it doesn't matter how many times you look in the mirror and how pretty you make yourself, you won't feel like that flower. Because you haven't yet discovered when your season is to bloom. What time of year do you start your buds? When does the sun hit you? What part where do you need to be in the garden in order to be recognized by the sun, so that you get the most from life? You know, and sometimes I had to realize that I was a hosta for a while. I didn't want to be a daisy or a rose or a lily. I wanted to kind of stay in the shade, and there were times when I would get compliments about, "Oh, you're so beautiful," and I would give it right back. And like, even that was showing my lack of self-awareness, my lack of understanding that I am a beautiful flower, and that I put off my own perfume. But because I'm so used to smelling others and examining their beauty, and I'm comparing my petals to theirs, or the lack of my petals to the petals that they produce, the lack of my perfume, even though I had my own aroma, it just wasn't as pungent or as potent. It didn't linger because I didn't believe I was worthy of it. So there was plenty of times when I would give compliments to people because they gave one to me, and I was just like, for one, it's not authentic. And for two, you don't have to feel guilty about someone telling you you are great at something, or you're beautiful, or you're wonderful. It's okay to just say thank you, period. But I would always have it, I like your shoes, and I like your outfit. Or I would do the opposite. Someone would say, girl, your outfit's so cute. And I would downplay it. Oh, it's only $5. And instead of just saying thank you. And standing in the sun and being like, okay, you're shedding some light on me. As a flower, I'm going to perk up. I should stand tall, and I should put off my beauty, and I should be radiant in this compliment because you gave it to me. You know? And there are going to be times when I exchange it to you, and it is genuine, but I was being unauthentic because I wasn't aware of my perfume or my flower. And there are times when I feel like a peony and I'm in spring, and spring is all that I want to be a part of. And there are times when I am a rose, but I am a bit prickly. You have to be gentle with me, you know? And then there's times when I want to be a burning bush. I'm not going to give you no flowers, but I'm going to give you color. And that's a warning. Leave me alone. So I'm learning that every season that the Most High has allowed me to grow in, it's okay to say I'm beautiful. It's okay to stand in that season. It's okay to feel beautiful inwardly, because the external aspect of you will turn to dust. But the you that is really you, that's the radiance that people see. And oftentimes, we don't put a magnifying glass on that aspect of ourselves. Instead, it's like sugar-coated poop, right? It's got all these sprinkles and stuff, but it's poop underneath. So if the inner part is not radiant, no matter how much makeup, clothes, money, hair, whatever you got going on, if it's not pure in here, it's sugar-coated poop. And what did they say? Roses really smell like boo, boo, boo. If the rose is not taken care of at the soil, where its roots dive deep and it's requiring a solid foundation, then the flower will not produce its blooms, and it will wither away. And so I'm learning to be okay with saying, yes, I am beautiful, because I know the inside of me is being cleaned out. And I will have days when I'm in a valley and I'm cussing up a storm and throwing a fit. And there are days when I'm climbing up mountains and I'm on the peak of a mountain and I can see all the beautiful things that the Most High has placed in my life and be in awe of it. And we go through those moments in those valleys where He shows you, okay, you were wrong for saying this, even though you didn't address it to this person, you said it in your head. And a lot of times what I've learned is what's worked for me is I will conversate out loud as if I was conversating with someone. I know many people say that's crazy, and they will say, well, do you answer back? Yeah, because in your conscience you answer yourself all the time. There's plenty of times you did something stupid in your conscious way. Why you do that? That was stupid. You know you need to apologize. But if you say it out loud, you're somehow crazy. But you have an inner dialogue every day. I just say stuff that I want to say out loud, and then I'll listen to it, really listen to it. I'm like, oh, I'm glad I didn't say that to that person. I don't want my words to be thorns. I want to be in my peony season. I want to be in a peony season. I want to be soft. I want to be delicate. And there will come a time when I have to be a rose. And there will come a time when I have to be a burning bush. That's cool. But right now I want to be in a peony season. And it's okay to feel like a delicate peony. So I'm going to add this to the wildflower. I'll place it to the Most High.
Thank you for listening today. Have a good one. Until next time, be good to yourself. See you later.